Cherry Blossom family, what's going on today? It is, I don't even know what day of the week it is, but I'm excited to be here. We got coming back with answering questions. We're answering questions about rosin today. And I know that, we specialize more in live resin. We have nothing against rosin. It is like our close concentrate cousin, very similar, very terpy, packed with cannabinoids. But rosin comes in a variety of different forms and textures, which is the question. Why does rosin come in a variety of different forms and textures? And how does it become that way? Well, although solventless, primarily solventless, skilled processors have figured out how to make excellent products using the different, array of different extraction techniques. Some makes hash rosin, some kind of try with straight with the buds, just pressing it right off the plant. Rosin can take on different forms using different curing techniques, and that's kind of where we're going to go in today: curing or agitation. So curing is a process that involves either heating or cooling the concentrate over time. And it could be for a few hours to a few days. Some people even cure it for months, So, and there are two types of cure. Really, there's three, and we're only going to go over two today. We'll leave the third for another day, kind of give you a little something to come back to, right? So, but as we know, like you can get oily rosin, you can get snap in and pull, you can get greasy, you can get waxy, you can get crumbly. So how does all these things happen? As a side note, generally a higher terpene content generally leads to less stable rosin. So how do you stabilize it and how do you control consistency? So let's talk about that curing. You can either do the warm cure. Some say place it in a warm oven that's like 200 or below for about an hour or two in a hot water bath. You don't have to worry about killing the concentrate because it's already should be activated during the heat process. Rosin is one that is actually pressed through heat, so it kind of converts the THCA to THC. Some say lower temps, like less than like 90 to 120, 150 degrees. Probably sounds better. The warmer temps tend to produce more shatter-like rosin, but it also creates more, it will deteriorate the concentrate a little bit more, kind of pull, degrade it, I should say. A cold curing process can happen at room temperature to some degree, or a cold room, but 40 to 70 degrees. It's not really room temperature, but you can get a room that cold. Set in a glass jar, whatever, for about 24 to 74 hours. Some even say a week, and then that kind of cures. And the process will change the texture. Sometimes they get a little more. The longer you sit in there, a little more snap and pull. Sometimes they get a little bit more crystally, diamondy like. FYI, the fresher the input material, though, generally that is always going to produce more of a butter-like consistency. So if you see a butter-like consistency, you know that was probably made from a fresher product, more pulled straight off the plant and probably pressed, or even from. I find, and I don't know this for sure, but I believe like a hash rosin, because there's not as much moisture left in there, and once it becomes hash, can produce a little more, I would say, stable concentrates. So I know it went a little long today. That's about it. But yes, there are ways, even at home, where you can try some of this stuff and control even your own textures. Or maybe if you want to take something from something more waxy or greasy or whatever, oily, and kind of convert it to something a little more stable, try one of these curing processes and see how that works. So we'll be back. We'll talk about what's it called? Jar tech curing. We're going to talk about that the next time you see us. And that is the third way to cure rosin. But until then, like, subscribe, share, and comment. We love you and thank you.